Okay, so
There's some spam on our page.
all right, you guys, we are live. Oh my goodness. So here we are. We are having our Dual Association of Alberta Q&A tonight. I am Christy Cooper. I am helping the Dual Association of Alberta out with the social media stuff. And we're just all here getting together to go through all the questions that we have before membership comes. So I'd like to introduce Millie Friedman, the president. Hello. And we have Taylor Malad with us as well. So basically, yeah, you guys say hi and we'll go from there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hi.
Hello, we're happy to be here. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point. And Christy, if you could start us off with an acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So just wanted to say a quick acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on traditional territories in Alberta of many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada whose presence continue to enrich our community. We recognize the land as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on or visiting. So here we go. So basically what it's going to look like, you guys, we have a list of questions that we have all compiled together from members and people who wanted to know some more, and Millie and Taylor are going to answer those for us. So yeah.
Beautiful. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Awesome. So basically what it looks like for everyone here in the chat, you go ahead and say hi. Any questions that pop up, I will relay them over to Millie and Taylor towards the end when we open it up and answer questions for everybody. So
Pick one, anyone.
Pick one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How did the process of creating the association begin and what sparked it?
Millie, you got that one?
Brain. Well, I've always kind of thought, you know, I'm in Edmonton and taking on the role that I have with the Dual Association Edmonton, helping to build that community. It's always kind of been in my mind that there could be something bigger. I was like close to 9 months pregnant this time last year. And as a birth giver in that time, with the restrictions that were coming for myself, so doula as a birth worker, and for my partner not being able to potentially join me at a birth site in that time, it really got me feeling and thinking about what was going on for the doula profession, but also for other families and birth givers in that position. And so I reached out to people that I already worked with in Edmonton on the association. And then I started reaching out down to Calgary first, and then up north where Taylor is, and just to see like what's going on in your area. And that really sparked a lot of conversations. And from there, basically, many conversations and late nights and after kids go to bed and stuff like that. Here we are. This is a dream that is really coming true, just with the building of community. And I just feel very privileged to be in the presence of the people that are working so hard, and also the supporters of all the people that are cheering us on for this movement. So that's how it started, and that's how we're here. That was a long one for you. You're welcome.
Awesome. So the next question they have here, what is the difference between the local associations and a provincial one?
Millie?
Yeah, I can take that. And so the provincial association basically can support the local associations with what's, like I said in the beginning, like what's going on in our province, to provide information or reference. Sometimes it's like, hey, do you know a doula in Lethbridge and you're in Grand Prairie? My best pal, one of my best pals, moved to Calgary this year. She's birthing there, and I was her doula last time. So it was like, hey, like, who can we hook up with? So certainly just helping to direct and support and still like that community piece.
And two, during this time of COVID, a lot of doulas are feeling the stress in their individual communities. And I think that over the past year, a lot of smaller associations and city associations have been trying to do their part to speak with MLAs, government, their local hospital, whoever it is. They're trying to make change locally. And I think that we've all kind of learned that we need to go bigger. We need to be one instead of all these little individual groups. We need to come together and be one big group and say, hello, here we are. Here's what we're about. You need to listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Awesome. So I guess that takes us into another question. What will the relationship between the local associations and the Alberta Provincial Association look like?
So I think it's kind of back to that resourcing piece and really just like whatever local associations need, however we can support, however we can help, we're here. So we're new and we're growing and we're open with our hearts and our ears and I'd like to say arms for hugs. And so certainly whatever we can do to help those associations, we're here to do some heavy lifting and we're fully equipped to do that, whatever that needs to look like. So however we can support. Yeah.
Awesome. What is the goal of the Provincial Association?
And this is on our website, our vision, our mission, if you want to take a look at that. So I know I keep coming back to resource, but really it is to unify us all, and to find respectful ground. We're all in different journeys in our careers. We're all different kinds of birth workers, different individuals, but we do have a very common goal. And so the goal of this association is to be a landing place for all people that work as doulas or birth workers or birth keepers, and doulas that are not just birth doulas, but like postpartum doulas, loss doulas, fertility doulas, all the doulas, all the birth workers, birth keepers. Yeah, that's our goal.
That's our goal. Awesome. So what would you say, what are the requirements to be a member?
So there's a couple different pathways, and this has been a lot of discussion and soul searching and figuring things out. And so we are requiring certification, and this is based on, oh, sorry.
Not certification.
Training. Training. 16-hour training. Thank you. So a 16-hour training and a 20-hour of additional continued education, and then proof of completion of that. And we are requiring insurance for our members, which we are offering, and I can speak to that a bit later, as well as agreeing to our code of ethics and standards of practice.
And that's all listed for everybody who maybe is kind of reeling through and thinking of everything Millie just said. It's all listed very clearly on our website. So we encourage you to go check it out and make sure that it aligns with you and your goals and your career goals. But it's all there for you to read and look over.
And so the other pathway is if you are a member, identify as an Indigenous birth worker, we are, through some discussions in our community, have come up with an idea that you can certainly still be a part of our association, although it may not align with taking some of the trainings and holding insurance. And so, yes, so becoming a member with our association as an Indigenous birth worker without having those requirements. And it's on our website, more information on that as well.
Yes, and I just plugged the website into the chat, so everyone go take a peek at it. It's pretty awesome.
Good, great questions.
So the next question on here, again, explaining some training requirements, especially the 20 hours. How did you choose the training certifications required to be a member?
Taylor, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. So we did go through and we picked, the most common ones. The ones that are more commonly used, those are the ones that are listed. Now that list is not a complete list. We are a growing association. We are a listening association. And I think that certainly during this time, there are going to be more organizations, groups, companies that put together really great training for doulas across Canada, globally. And so if you don't see the organization or company that you used, we want you to reach out to us and we will look into that further. And the hope there is that we can grow that list to be very inclusive of all types of training. So we're hoping that you're not deterred and you don't reach out to us if you don't see your training listed there. We do want you to reach out because this is learning for us too. We want to add to that list.
Awesome. Once a member, how would we reach out if we have any problems, questions, or concerns regarding the association?
Good question. So there's 15 people in this group that have come together to form this association. And within that are our lovely, fantastic, phenomenal liaisons. And they're across the province in each zone. And so they're for community outreach directly in your area. And we will have that listed on our website as well as who's in your zone, who can you get in touch with right now. And then they know how to get in touch with whomever it would be that they need, whether it's Taylor or myself or someone else, like membership coordination or whatever, in that avenue. So yes, so liaisons. We also, like, obviously Taylor and myself are available. And then we do have another person on our team who works on communication, so community communication liaison. And if there was needed to be kind of like a conflict resolution, that kind of thing, she's equipped to be coming in on those discussions for us as well.
Wonderful. Okay. Will a membership include any liability insurance coverage?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, we're partnering with ProLink Insurance, and as we said, it is a insurance will be part of the membership. So absolutely, we're all set up for that. Can't just expect, it's hard to get a call back from many people these days. And so we've got the 1 million professional liability, so covering kind of like legal costs, things like that. If there was, a lawsuit or the sums that would have to come out of that. And then there is an additional 1 million for the commercial liability. So it's like damage to your client's property. All I think in that is like a birth pool.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking just now too.
I'm like, oh, I always like carried the tarp or whatever, but certainly like, yeah, got insurance for that. Good, check. And I guess like while we're on the topic, I could just say like the yearly membership with insurance will be $219. And then if you have insurance already, you can BYOI, bring your own insurance, and that'll be $95 per year. And insurance, so starting Saturday, May 2nd, when we open membership, we're going to do a prorated amount for membership, which would actually take us to the end of September. So the way that our insurance is set up is that it's going to renew it every October, and also for the membership. So we've done like a prorated. We didn't know we were going to launch. We had to have everything beautiful for y'all. So yeah, so there's a bit more on that, and that's all on our website as well.
Thank you. All right, so how are you planning to create an inclusive community so that BIPOC and LGBTQ2S doulas feel welcomed and safe within? How are you creating an anti-racist organization and ensuring that you are not inadvertently creating harm? Additionally, how do you plan to ensure that we are being held accountable and that we can call out others on their mistakes or do not cause more harm?
Millie, I can take this one.
Yeah, feel free. Great.
This is an important question.
We need an hour.
It's a little bit of a heavy one too, right? There's a lot of weight behind that one. And that's what makes it so important. So this is something that we've thought a lot about and that we take very seriously. I think the first piece is to recognize that we do not want to assume that we know everything, when it comes to supporting those groups. I think that it's important to recognize that us as an association will need to grow and to learn and to listen. And so for us, to have an association and let's say, be like, oh, we're going to do this training for all of our members, and it's going to be about unconscious bias and, A, B, C, D. We feel it's important that our members in those specific groups feel heard, that we are not just assuming that they would feel supported in a specific way. For example, us just picking a training. We have liaisons put in place in roles so that individuals have the opportunity to communicate to that liaison who aligns with, well, there's all kinds of things to align with there. So whatever they do align with.
You feel comfortable to reach out to.
Yeah, and so we want to create a space for individuals to feel that they can freely speak and share their thoughts, their ideas, their concerns. And if, speaking to the liaison is not something that they are comfortable with, we have discussed how throughout the year, we would like to have those liaisons organize group meetings so that in a group setting, these individuals can come together and collectively say, hey, Alberta Doula Association of Alberta, this is what we think would be helpful. Here's what we think about this. Here's an issue that has been coming up a lot and needs to be addressed. Our job is to take that information, take it seriously, and take action on it. I just want to be very clear that it's not, you know, we do not want to assume that we know. So we want to create that space, allow voices to be heard and truly heard, and then do something about it in the best way that we can support them.
And also to do our own research on those things. And we're not, I mean, our liaisons are here to add value to our discussion, but certainly not to teach us.
Right.
Is the other big portion of it, because that comes with assumption as well. And so knowing that basically we're here to help and support, and that's what we want to do safely,
yeah, and
respectfully.
And another piece is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we, as an association, and even just me speaking from a personal level, I am learning. I'm learning. And if, you know, down the road by chance, something isn't said properly, or someone's not heard, or whatever it may be, we want to be held accountable. We want to be told, you know, that wasn't the way that it should be done. And we don't want to just apologize and move on. We want to make it right. We want to be an association that stands by our values and our goals, and not just the words, right? We want to actually do things. We want to actually be inclusive of everybody. We actually want to listen to everyone's voices and then do something about it.
A more inclusive future.
Mm.
That's what this world needs. And this is our small chunk of that world.
Wonderful.
That was a really good question.
It really was. Perfect. So the next question. As a CAPA faculty, I'm curious why CAPA was only approved for in-person sessions. Many organizations have been online, and organizations that provide certification are not disqualifying those who have taken online training. They still are required to have the basic understanding and knowledge of comfort measures and techniques.
Mm.
So this was a typo on our, I think this question is coming because on our website, there was a typo that said,
in person,
and it was just beside the CAPA. So our apologies for that. I think it's since been rectified. So if we need more clarification on that, please, the person who submitted that question, reach out to us, because like for sure in the world right now, there's not the online, or I mean, there's not the in-person things happening, and we obviously support and honor all of that. So for sure, if that doesn't answer it, I'm pretty sure that was from the website and it's been rectified. Yeah.
Next question. I am worried that bringing up insurance with Alberta Health Services will create a domino effect, which will then mean that doulas will not be able to work without insurance at all. I think that this is walking the line and being very harmful for doulas of color and doulas in the marginalized communities. Is there any concern that Alberta Health Services will begin to require insurance for doulas to attend hospital births once it is brought up to them?
Another good one. Another really good one. Millie, I'll take this one.
Yeah, go for it. You talked first. I'm like, love ya. Do it. I mean,
okay.
The same way. So yeah, you already know my thoughts. And
yeah. So another heavy one. This is big, and this is something that we have been talking about for a year, right? We've been going back and forth, like insurance, no insurance, what are the pros here, what are the cons here, and looking at it very deeply. So it wasn't a decision that we made lightly, and I do understand that concern, that if we go to AHS and we say, hey, our members and our members have insurance, that, we're giving them this, and then are they going to ask for more? Are they going to start to, demand things of us, or say, okay, they all have insurance, great. Now we want this of you. So I understand that concern of that domino effect where they may ask more of us. So we are in communication with AHS. Like full transparency, we are doing everything we can to get doulas in the hospital, just to be blunt about it. And so the insurance aspect is pleasing to an organization such as AHS. It's impressive to government, to other health professions. And so, that's one aspect. Recognizing that doulas, like, at least for our members, we have our scope of practice, our code of conduct on there. And so for them to ask something of all doulas in Alberta, that I feel like that would be hard for them to logistically work out, because not all doulas are going to want to be a part of this association, and that's okay. So I guess, like, I want to recognize that that's a concern. I also feel that, and being in the position that we are in, and we are here to represent you, we want you to know that we understand that this is a concern and that we're taking it very seriously. Mm-hmm. I personally would not be okay with AHS starting to demand things of me that were beyond my scope of practice, that were beyond the code of conduct, that were very specific to AHS or our government. We are not about regulating our doulas. That's not what we're doing. We are trying to find the best way that we can work within our own individual businesses, supporting families, while coming together as a unified group and looking as professional as we can, so that everyone else in the province, throws out any stereotypical ideas they have of what a doula is, or maybe they don't even know. And then they're like, oh, what is a doula? They have insurance, or they have they have an association? What? And then, we need this to move forward, especially because of where we're at right now, with the hospital status and COVID. So I know that was kind of scattered the way that I answered it, but I hope that makes sense, that we hear your concern. It's a valid concern, and that it's important to us. And that's not our intent.
That's good.
Thank you. Well answered. That was good.
Okay.
Well done. Okay, so this is the last question that was submitted. So after we do this one, we'll go through and just see what was bringing up in the comments, but this is the last one. If a doula chooses to not become a member of the association, will this affect their ability to practice as a doula within Alberta?
No. I think, we have our individual businesses and ways that we do things. And like Taylor just spoke of, I mean, this association, it may not align with you, or, with some people, and that's good. We support that too. It's, it's very individual. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no.
Yeah. Like we recognize that not everyone's going to see the value in having insurance, and we respect that. We felt, again, that was an important piece here moving forward.
It's hard to, we talked about it for,
yeah.
Message like first thing in the morning sometimes, like, within our group, and be like, here's my thought on it again, it wasn't an easy decision to come to.
Yeah, because the bigger goal here is that we're coming together as this group, this community, like a whole Alberta community of doulas. And we want everybody. We want everyone to feel welcome. We want everyone to join if they can and if they want to. And so when we were deciding about the insurance, we made that decision acknowledging that there will be some people who prefer to not join because of that. And while that is unfortunate, we do respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw more benefit to having that in place than not.
And so for for individual businesses and individuals, no, like that doesn't change your business platform.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, okay. So yeah, so that wrapped it up for the initial questions that we had written up. So we are just going to dive into the comments. So we had one posted from Beverly here. She said, hey, I just heard about the live earlier today, so I didn't have a chance to submit the question earlier, but I'm interested to know if the Association of Alberta will be incorporating under the Societies Act, and what the process will be for running for the board. What board positions will exist, if you envision more than the current ones, and what money from memberships will be used for. I'll check the website out after.
Awesome. Great question. Taylor, I can kind of chat and then just jump in if wherever.
Yep.
And so, yes, we are incorporated under the Societies Act, and have done so. And elections. So the way basically right now, okay, let's think back a year ago when I was sitting like super pregnant at my kitchen table going, what can be done about what's going on? So what I did at that time is I reached out to people that that I knew already in this community that I really trusted, that I already worked with. So there's, people on the board currently are people that, not everyone, I think there's like two or three of them that I work with on the board in Edmonton, and have for a couple of years, and built that relationship and knew what they are capable of. And I think trust is a really big one, especially because I was like, I'm gonna have a baby, and like this is kind of like another baby, this idea to grow. And so I really just whoever was kind of at the arm's length to reach out to at that time. And so yes, we are registered, and yes, there will be elections, and the seats are going to change for the board. They're not going to all kind of be in election time at the same time. So Taylor and myself, so as president, vice president, they're 3-year terms, and the other positions are 2-year terms. And then our liaison roles are an annual. So there is opportunity for people to put their name forward. And we did do a call out for the liaisons for this year. And we're kind of just gonna like tag on these months. So then they'll be in for a year and a bit. And because we are a growing association, we're open to having other positions if they're necessary. And certainly I can definitely see, us doing like collaborations with people who want to do like subcommittees for a really great event or charity and things like that within the community. Like we're all about community. And there was people who I spoke with like in Calgary area. I didn't know, I just kind of cold called these people a year ago, and Red Deer, and even some up north who were a part of the initial planning of this, and like so absolutely grateful, and then for whatever reason needed to take a step back before we I put out a call for liaison roles. I touch base with each of them to say, hey, like there are these liaison roles, you know, this is what's going on. And we actually had like a group message constant on that they were a part of still, even if they had taken that step back, that they were able to know and be in the loop of kind of the progress that we were having. And so I guess, you know, like there's two things to say. Like, first of all, like if you look at our board as an example right now, it's a lot of people that like I said, were just kind of like in my reach, because I knew them and I knew what they could do with this. But yeah, like elections, absolutely, and subcommittees and things like that. What was the other part of the question? Money. Okay, so basically, full transparency. How have we funded this association so far? I'll show you my purse. It's empty.
Here's my money. Take my money. Take my money.
So myself and Taylor have out of pocketed this up to this point, and keeping track with bookkeeping and Corey, who's our amazing financial our treasurer. And so yes, that's how we are now. And we've kept our membership fee as low as we possibly can, taking into consideration a few really key points. So the first one is just like the running of the association, our bank account, fees for submitting to the register,
website,
registry, our website, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where that, and then the insurance is the other part of it, which is the majority of the cost of joining. And then the other part of it, Taylor like wants to say, go ahead.
Oh, you know what I was going to say. So part of the fee, and I think it's a fairly small fee, is that advocacy piece. So we are trying to do this in the most professional, profound way that we feel is our best chance to actually do something about doulas in hospitals, and not just that, like moving forward.
Big picture.
The world is our oyster. What do we want as a group collectively, and not just the board? What does the board think is good? What do we, the members, what do we need? What do we want? Where do we want to go with this?
Like, and so board. It's about the membership. That's this whole
we're
thing.
We're just the face and the vessel to help.
We're the vessel for this.
Yeah, to facilitate. So we have sourced out like representation and guidance, professional guidance when it comes to government and AHS, and that is not free. So that's something we felt was financially worth it.
We'll just say.
Sorry?
I said not cheap.
Yeah, so that's something that we feel has some serious value, and we hope that you do too. So part of the funds would go towards that piece. And then Millie, I'm not sure, did you mention about training?
I didn't yet. I just thought of it now when you said that. So to supplement training costs, so our very first training that we're going to be offering will be a PPE certification, and then being able to get a decent group rate with that and offset the cost so that it can be accessible to our members instead of just kind of walking in the storefront and paying full price. So looking at those opportunities as well to support our members. Yeah. Money. That's right. Oh, you're
muted.
Muted.
And I'm so professional. Okay. So just a heads up, everyone, we have about 20 minutes left. We're kind of just going to 9 o'clock. So we're just going to try and get all the questions that we can in. If there's more questions beyond 9 o'clock, I will make sure I take them. Corey's going in the chat here, collecting them as well. And we will get back to you if we don't answer them live here. So the next question is from Allison. Are there any Indigenous birth workers on the board?
So we do have an Indigenous birth worker within our group, yes. Not directly like on the board, but within our group of 15, and we work very closely with them.
Okay. Brenda asks, what if a client has a complaint about a doula? Do we have anything set up for that?
So we do have our standards of practice and our scope. And so certainly, I mean, if people are working out of scope, we definitely will be taking a look of what that is and doing investigation and the process of the support and talking to our team and talking to the individual as well.
Mm-hmm. And we have someone that isn't a part of that 15, that group of 15 that's outside of our group here to help facilitate stuff like that, so that it's completely unbiased, it's professional.
Okay.
Like HR.
Yeah.
The other question Brenda has, will there be any yearly expectations of ongoing education? So every year, will we expect another 20 hours? Is that what you're going for?
Is that what she meant?
I think so. I'm just seeing if she'll pop in the chat here. But,
if that's the case, then no.
okay.
Yeah.
We are going to be offering the training, and
for if you want to continue your like get your CEUs and things like that for.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, for example, with the PPE, we do have a meeting coming up with AHS, so pray for us. And that's another one of those additional things that we know that they're going to be like, ooh, right. They took some PPE training? Nice.
Certification.
Yeah, and it's a certification. So
when workers are taking it, even better. Yeah.
So if the conversation ever came up and they said, well, do all of your members have to take that, or have they, you know, that's a conversation we'd have with them and really weigh like, okay, does this mean that people are going to be able to go into the hospital? And then we would bring that back to our members. And it would always be your choice, but there may be incentive to do some of these trainings other than just they're good to have. Like we're going to pick ones that we see value in, and that our liaisons see value in, and that our members see value in. So hopefully you want to take them anyway, but yeah.
Awesome. Okay, there's a question, I believe, from Brittany. She says, I just checked on the board of directors on the website and I noticed there isn't anyone from Calgary. Is this an error, or is Calgary not represented at the board level? And would there be any plans to change that?
Yeah, so I mean, going back to what I was kind of saying of how it originally came to be, and just even the filing of the documents originally to get the society things, it's me pulling from the people that I knew right directly in my area. So yeah, with elections, absolutely. And I just want to be really clear about something. Like we have a board, you know, but really, like the other team members, the 15 of us, the weight of our voices are all equal, and that also goes into our members. And
yeah,
you know, yeah, I just want to be really clear about this. The whole point of this association isn't for ego, and it's not for status, and it's not, you know, to be higher than anyone else. We are here for ourselves. We are here to uplift each other, to listen to each other, to learn, to unlearn, to build, to grow, to nourish each other, all of that. And that is what this association has built. And in the last year, coming from, you know, me sitting at my kitchen table, my laptop going, to now here we are today having these conversations, having these questions asked. All of this shows what community is. This shows what community can do. Bring up these tough questions to be asked and to feel comfortable enough to come and ask these questions. You know, for Taylor, Christy, and people to show up to this. So please understand that this has nothing to do about power and ego and those things. It has everything to do with individual journeys and feeling good to do that, and humanity. Okay, just had to throw that out.
And with our liaisons, we have them for, and there's actually sometimes in like large zones, we have more than one because the zone is so large, but we have a liaison for all parts of Alberta, because we do want that voice and that representation and that communication piece for all of Alberta. And like Millie said, it's not that geography was intentional when building the board, or you could even go deeper than that and look at our backgrounds, and you know, what all do we individually bring to this group. And so I think that when associations just start, there needs to be a little bit of grace there too, because we are learning and we're doing our best. And the hope is that people feel inspired in the next year or two to help carry on this movement that we've started. We're just starting. We're just the starters. And we're hoping that this just grows and grows, and people from Calgary, people from Grand Prairie, people from wherever feel inclined to, you know, fill these spots in the future. Yeah.
And you know, it's been interesting too, because I have had that question has been asked to me, and the other thing too is when people that were in initial conversations about this have come back to say, hey, like I'm ready now, or I have time, or let me know, like I don't have time, but please, I want to do something. In a movement like this, there is a role for every single person. And it happens in the right way, in the right time. And it's trusting in that. Just like we tell our clients, like trust in your journeys, trust in that your body can show up for you in amazing ways. This is the same as that. Trust the journey, and certainly with that passion and that drive, if you're having that feeling that you want to be involved, it's going to happen. And there is a place for you, 100%.
Love it. Rebecca just said in here, board positions do not mean a bigger voice. Board members are people designed to do specific jobs, commuting to putting in certain number of hours to support the organization. Everyone on staff has equal and a valued voice and will be included in decision making. We will also be working hard to ensure every birth worker in the province with something to say or contribute will be heard and represented.
Yes.
Board members work for you.
Yes.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Okay, throw a couple more questions in. We got about 10 minutes. Okay, Tracy says, I'm concerned with at least 3 strong doula associations already running in the province. Are we barging Alberta Health Services from a million different angles? I understand in collective power, but I am worried about the way Alberta Health will handle it or take it. Sorry.
I can answer.
Oh. Yeah, Taylor, if you want to take this one, and I'll just say first, like we've chatted with the associations in the province and have had clear communication with them for a few months in regards to kind of the movement we're doing. Taylor, if you want to speak more to that.
Yeah, so that's the one piece, right? We've spoken to those organizations, those associations. And then the other side of that is we have spoke with AHS, and there was, and we knew that they were gonna have this confusion, just like I forget who asked the question. Forget her name.
Oh, sorry, Tracy.
Tracy.
Hudson.
Just like you're wondering, right? And yeah, it makes sense. And that this is kind of what I was saying initially when we first started this, this Facebook Live, that when there's these smaller groups and we're all being like, excuse me, that, yeah, I feel like that is probably why AHS hasn't done anything about it. Logistically, that would be a nightmare, trying to work with individual hospitals, individual jurisdictions and areas of Alberta, and individual doula associations. And so when we did speak to, we've had one meeting already with like the highest up you can go with AHS, and they did communicate to us that they were wondering, well, who do we contact, right? And so it does make sense that when dealing with AHS and trying to make some big change, they need to have one point of contact. And we have volunteered to be that contact, especially moving forward with, you know, this meeting that's coming up and everything that we're trying to do and facilitate. And again, going back to our role, we're not in charge. It's not just our personal opinions. We are here to listen to what the doulas in Alberta want and need, and we are trying to facilitate it. So starting off with the association, we don't have members yet. Hopefully Saturday we have a whole bunch, but we've been trying to listen and connect with those associations and find out, okay, what have you tried? Like, who did you talk to? What have you tried? Has anything worked? And we've really been trying to hear and utilize all of that, and then hear what, like, hey, what's needed? What does everyone need and want? And then how can we best make that happen? And the way to best make that happen is to have one point of contact for someone like AHS. Logistically, them communicating with everyone individually is not going to happen.
And so this is also, we had liaisons, but also a year ago, people write kind of impact statements and stories about their families that they were working with and their experiences and all that. And we have a very large, wonderful package of all of that from across the province now. It did just start in Edmonton last year when I started collecting and reaching out to the health ministry. But now we have across the province stories and impact statements and all of those things. And we've had conversations just like one-on-one with individual doulas and things like that. So yeah, thanks, Taylor. That was...
Okay. Sonia has a quick question. I think that the 20 hours of extra training being a requirement for joining is limiting, especially for newer doulas certifying. As well, it doesn't say when those are needed to be completed by or how long they are valid for. So to join, everyone needs to prove they have completed 20 hours of extra training, but what is the expiry of the training? Did it occur in the last year or the last 10 years or updated yearly?
We didn't limit that. We did not specify. So that kind of means any training that you've done thus far.
That's right. If you did a chest feeding course if you like, for myself, took DONA, you know, yeah. And I think most doulas, like we you know, continue to build you know, and continue to educate, right, ourselves. And so it doesn't have to be like a very specific training. You can, we put examples there, but it could be anything that has facilitated you as a doula, that has built you up as a doula. It could be a public speaking course that you took. It could be a baby massage course that you took. It could be driving safe in the city course because you have to drive to hospitals. You know, like, if you can relate it to your business, your career, you as a doula, and you've taken it to help you be a better doula or continue your education, then submit it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Tracy just has a follow-up question regarding the 3 existing associations. The answer sounds like the hopes that sounds like the hopes will, those that successful organizations will then fold. I know that Calgary's association has been advocating for us. We all come from different health regions who treat doulas drastically differently. I'm not sure we can be lumped in.
And Taylor, I know you want to speak to this, but I just want to say too, like there's more than 3 major associations in our province. I think there is 6 associations province-wide. And yes, like I hear what you're saying, Tracy, in regards to being treated differently. But things that are happening, let's say in Calgary zone, are happening in Fort McMurray. Things that are happening in the Lethbridge zone are happening in Grand Prairie. Like there is common things going on. Go ahead, Taylor. I know you want to speak to that.
Yeah, and that is not our intent. We do not want them to fold. We want to support them, right? We want, how can we help? What can we do? Me speaking to that piece of the One Voice with AHS specifically is just an example of how best we are going to make movement. And that's just the blunt truth of it. That is just the truth. That doesn't mean that those associations are not needed. It doesn't mean that their voices aren't important and that the work they're doing is not important. We want to support all the individual associations however they need to be supported. And the liaisons, that would be part of their role. Or the members of those associations can contact us directly if they want to, if they don't feel comfortable going to the liaison. But that is definitely not the intent. Do not fold. That is not what we're asking. We do not want to take over all individual associations. No.
And I mean, I think, like, I know for in Edmonton, for sure, like there's a lot of educational component. There's a lot of guest speakers that come in every second month and chat. There's general meetings. And so like for Alberta, the trainings like that we're going to host are like 2 to 3 per year. The membership meetings that we're going to have are like 3 per year. We're just finalizing our calendar. It's not as involved socially and connecting that way as much as the local associations are. Those local associations are super important because they build that camaraderie. They're right there for like, I need a backup. I need a resource like right now for acupuncture or field positioning or whatever that is. And so, or lactation or, and so those local associations are like the building block for our, our career. The Alberta is coming to support and to hold space for whatever, like Taylor was saying, whatever those associations need. And then some, like prepared to do more heavy lifting. And so listening to the local associations of what's needed, taking that information, and then, okay, hey, guess what? Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Lethbridge, Lloyd, like this is such a common thing that's being talked about. Oh my gosh, listen, we all need the same thing. And let's even say just right now with COVID, the advocacy piece, we all want to go to birth sites. So let Alberta lift that. Let Alberta do that lifting. We all want it. And then, as Taylor's spoken about tonight and myself, but Taylor's saying like, it's bigger than that. This is not just COVID. COVID's never going away. So a little bit, it's setting the groundwork of that. But this is showing our province, our families that we work with, so future clients. It's showing, sure, healthcare providers, midwives, doctors, nurses, all of those people, that here we are, we're doulas, we're professional, we're going to show up, and we're ready without having a college and being regulated. We're organized and we're ready.
Okay, do you want to do one more question since we started a few minutes late?
and let you answer too. I was like, yes, let's do it. Fired up.
Amy says, I'm loving this meeting, by the way, after a year of COVID and being frozen out of hospitals. My concern financially is now hefty. All the memberships will be all the memberships. So yeah, she's the cost of membership, all the things. I think Amy did have another question here. Becky asks, I'm interested to know if the association has a stance on the topic of registration and regulation of doulas.
Well, I think we already spoke
Yeah,
to
I think
that.
it's that one.
Organization, not regulation.
Right. Allison asks, is there an intention for the board positions to be paid positions?
So there will be honorariums presented to individuals on the team, and we can't speak to that at the moment. As at the moment, Taylor and I are like we said, I'll just go in my wallet, and so yes, some honorariums, but also for people that like come to do guest speaking, all of that. People need to be their time needs to be recognized and honored. And so whatever that needs to look like, I mean, in this first year, we might be just having to do some offerings.
Yeah. And too, for people to know that our financials will be available at request. So if anyone is ever concerned about finances or the way that money's being spent, you can reach out to Corey and she will arrange for you to be able to view that, all of that information and documentation.
Cool. I think that's it for questions.
Wonderful. This is fun.
And again, Millie or Taylor or I or someone will come through these comments again and sweep through them and just kind of answer them here so everyone can see the answers to the questions. But man, thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you so much for spending the time with us tonight, and hope to see you on Saturday. And certainly if there's other questions, you can definitely submit them to us through the info on our Facebook or Instagram or website or email.
Yeah, and make sure you check out the website. Go take a look, read over everything that's there. And if you have any concerns, reach out before Saturday.
That's when our web person's gonna take a holiday, right? Sunday. She's laughing right now, I bet you.
Awesome. But yeah, like they said, you guys, membership is open on Saturday on the website. But again, like the girl said, ask all the questions. We want to hear from you guys. So this will be available for replay here on Facebook, and I'm also going to throw her over on Instagram because I know there's lots of people that missed it over there. But thank you, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Christy, and thanks to the rest of the team. You guys are working your butts off like morning, noon, and night right now, and we see you and hear you, and we love you. Thank you very, very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.